everyone, and welcome to the greeting for the week of May the 18th. I'm your host, Mr. Johnson, alongside co-host Boop Boop Kajoop. We're happy to have you join us. It's the 6th episode of the greeting, 6 for grade 6, and we got a great show for you today. We're asking the question, what will you do differently after social distancing measures are relaxed? As well as we're answering your questions regarding back to school. Some of you joined me in the classroom last week, so there's lots to talk about. Let's get started. All right, so last week's greeting question was, 8 weeks have passed and social distancing measures were introduced. When this is all over, what do you plan on doing differently? So I got a variety of answers. 5 of you mentioned sports and friends. So seeing all of my friends, going outside whenever I want to see my friends. I would also like to play more sports. So sports, team games, having contact with each other, more exercise, and maybe less video games. Some of you can attest that even I jumped on board the video game train this spring. 3 of you said hand washing. Washing my hands more frequently, wash my hands more often. I'm going to wash my hands more. So those were 3 answers regarding hand hygiene. And 4 of you talked about going places. So me would be to play with my friends, not 2 meters apart, to go to the mall, to go to a restaurant, and to talk to my teachers, but not 2 meters apart. Now, those of you who were at school this week know that I was on and on and on, going on all about 2 meters. Maybe you saw the TikTok, but it's really important. Right now, it's super important. We have to follow science. Science is telling us to stay separated, probably until there's a vaccine. I plan on going places. I would like to be able to go shopping again and going places. Just anywhere, right? My favorite answer, what am I going to do differently when this is all done? I would like to change my sleep schedule. I'm with you on that one. And then someone else wrote sleeping in. So we had 2 answers regarding sleep. Thanks for answering. All right, so I'm here at the Ring of Knowledge wall. And if we could take a look at last week's question on the screen. There it is. So we had to figure out how many yellow, how many red, how many blue, and how many green go into that figure. So here are the answers. And here are the winners. Congratulations. All right, welcome back. So it's time for our most popular segment of the greeting, question period, where you ask the questions and I try to give you the right answers. So much has changed over the past 8 weeks in terms of answers. We have always had questions, but the answers have been changing. It's really important to know that answers will continue to change based on the science that is around us right now. So I'll start with some questions that have existed in the pile since day 1, since we ran our first episode 6 weeks ago. And then we'll get into some new questions about school. And I'll try to show you some footage of what is going on, what it's like at school right now. So let's take a look. What's your favorite thing to do in social distancing? Now that one I can answer. So I've been enjoying the cooking. As of this Wednesday, May the 20th, you may have noticed I'm wearing a collared shirt today. Mr. Johnson is going to be playing golf, a sport that was designed around social distancing and being away and connecting with nature, all while in the competition of sport. So although my answer right now is cooking, my answer in a couple of days is going to be golfing. Let's look at another one. What was your first video game? So my first console was a Nintendo 64. In the Christmas of 1997. So how old were you? Yeah. My first video game that came with that was Diddy Kong Racing. I also got Mario Kart, of course, and GoldenEye. I like to call that my first video game. I could beat the facility level 2, in 2 minutes and 15 seconds on 007 Agent, and that got you in the invincible cheat. Sorry, I'm getting carried away. Let's look at one more question. Are we going to have summer school? Well, right now the answer is no, but things could change. But as far as I know, that answer will remain the same. Great questions. Let's move into newer questions. So what it's like going back to school. So someone asked about Miss Fab. So who is Miss Fab and what will she do? So some of you met Miss Fab. If you would like to participate in a video conference, every Tuesday and Thursday at school, we are going to have a Zoom, as we usually do at 11 o'clock, with Mr. G. So if you're not coming to school and you want to see what it's like, life at school, I'm going to send everyone the link, as I usually do, starting this Tuesday and Thursday at 11 o'clock. And we're going to have gym class from Mr. G on those days. So it should be a lot of fun. Miss Fab will be there too sometimes. How do students stay 2 meters apart? All right, that's a great question. And I'd like to ask that question to my students who are returning to class and ask them how they do it. Probably they'd give you the answer. Mr. Johnson tells us, because that seems to be the most difficult part right now is having all of us remember to stay 2 meters apart. Many of us didn't leave our homes or the area around our homes for many, many weeks. So it's hard getting used to the dots and the arrows that we need to stand on and follow. I'll roll some footage about how we meet in the morning, if we could get that up there. Yeah, and so basically we show up, there are dots, we stand on the dots, but what is becoming is this accountability between human to human, no matter how old, of staying 2 meters apart and knowing that it's respect. It's all about respecting the health of each other. So right now we have visuals to stay 2 meters apart. Obviously the classroom shown here. The desks are 2 meters apart. Everyone has their own area. But in the hallway, we have red tape that's set out every 2 meters. And on the playground, we have dots. So a lot of visuals, a lot of reminders right now. But as you guys grow in the next couple of weeks and months, it's going to become natural until we don't have to do it anymore. It's not going to last forever. So that's all for the question period for today. Great questions. Thanks for asking. So as we wrap up the show today, I'd like to give a shout out to my future brother-in-law, Alec, who is working in Montreal at the CHSLD Marie-Victorin. Alec answered the call and is helping out people who are living in extraordinary circumstances right now. And as we know, Montreal is one of the places where schools won't be opening this school year. So I'd like to give a sincere shout out to him and the work that he's doing there, helping others get through this difficult time. Going forward, you could see that the weather is getting nicer and it's summer, no matter what, no matter if we're social distancing or not. So get outside, enjoy the sun this week. It's going to be a beautiful week. Make sure that if you want to get involved with school activities such as the yearbook, please fill out the greeting, let me know, and I'll make sure to keep in close contact with you, whether you are at school or not. Thanks for watching the show this week. See you next time.